institution managing the identity of individuals.
I don't know if I saw Bene Omaninya if you Mujumadi Mudi.
Sir, the attorney says system no yashisha no. Sa system no eboa ema ubu mine ye.
Okay.
As training say data dey important.
Okay.
Say wo oman mu na wotimi si pi. Eka say wonuma edi aduasia kosoro nyina. Eye your friend say ebia nipa opepepe ensia. So omro so a omadi 12 years and below eso ye ebia opepepe edu. Wotimi so bo stressa ade ya e ma wotimi manage your mind no ye. And the biometric nature no so no. And also so ade everybody ne say bibia na se ye cha. Obia entimi nyimi no.
Okay.
As a trainer say obi kura ka say ebia say one ma edi efuru sister kwa one mu entimi enhwe won ho no. Aban ma wuska bia. Ukona ukojiska no a wode we NIA card na eko.
Okay.
NIA card obi a betime nya ba ko pe. Nipa bia ntimi nya mienu. Nti wode NIA card na kwa ni ebo no ma no ehyemu a ebetime hu se wadi kan ba kwa abagi bia di. Ye chiche bibia ana se aban adwuma so na ye ya. Obu wo ha otworo ni din wa ha o se frame ko dwumenu. No asa tworo ni din wa ha o se ye frame ayi kofipoku. No obi a wode ahe ayi. Your friend say what the just company I know brony friend ghost names.
Okay.
Say eno ni nyina no ena ye no timi me so ne so. E ma ye hunu say ade aga na ebo ho kapa ne say nkrofo bibiri churcho wodi agigiska hunu edi e wa ban adwuma so ho. Eno so ena nche no recognition service brony free bibi recognition service why your database awie no. So obi ko na so say me yasemasi intini mumbi account mama wuska mutua man na ye.
Okay.
Ni nyina no e create a lot of revenue for the nation. Intino in a nutshell no system no de ehungo emfaso ye pa emo man no.
I see. The Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mamadou Bawumia Alkizium say for 8 years NDC ba pa fiti Professor Amos Apenso ebesi Ramama so no a system no mu jamu sa na fasodi a waboso a so many here say they collect data for even our development ni na bo na ade ntina such essential institution we say boa for Ghana yenkanko na muja nyuma ngu was 8 years manye hu hono
so you can Dr. Bawumia de o kan asem obi kan wo so wo chia ya hwewie mansa na waje so enye no kurasi eja to ho sa. In fact, Mekashe Mampani John Dramani Mahama and Munyam say system na womode ma ID card His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, card September 2017. MPP aban anfa pen drive kranka ho.
September 2017.
Okay, say September of 2017. When we issue the first card to the president.
Yeah.
Sa card no, the system that issued the card no. Sa system no, factory acceptance test. Make us a factory acceptance test. Say company bi achichiri mfidie. Bi a one specification achichiri mfidie. No we wie no. O se mawie. No akwa akwohwe say okay, make us say card ye ni say why make us say system no to service we wato. Make us say the boy and son no fa we ni we why ne waji atum se ampa wawie system no na mani aso sa factory acceptance test no ye no December of 2016.
December 2016
sanity now in fact I'm even in a I think so with this no I will put together a very small article about addressing some of these issues. Now the other kind during President Mills and JM's time your time you call NIA no. You call NIA no. Some of the things that we try to do very quickly, and I mean working together with Dr. Haji and Dr. Koba and Mr. Pepra, Prince Pepra, who became the acting chief executive for a brief period, I think about 6 months, which is significant, half a year. Now, some penifoi nyinaa including myself, we worked aggressively towards the integration of biometric systems.
Okay.
As a trainer said, and I'll explain very, very thoroughly. On my beer here, one civil biometric system. Because a civil biometric system, your biometric system, you are more who mean a civil system and a criminal system. Civil system, not a business say, what the immigration services.
Okay.
And also what the identity management. So these are civil. And a criminal biometric system, no so no. Ubo biansa no, yes, ubia. I mean, Kenya for the no ubia.
Okay.
But I mean, the most effective ones now. I'm not saying the Kenyan one is not effective. You know, it's how you use it. But they say USA or what we call the IFEs, the integrated IFEs, no. One more echo crime scene na one more pick a fingerprint.
Okay.
No, there are 2 FDS so. And a criminal biometric system.
Okay.
And I say obi so eka se opese okoye ye chikromfo bia so ane abone san ye de aka ho. Say ye obi ka se me pese me kodi teacher, they say wo ko ben kola. Enti ye mmon san no ne ye nhwe se wadi boni bi da.
Okay.
Ne ye de akora ne sa database na hwe. Say bia uwom ebi kra be ran no ye say ah wo ko bokro no wa ha. Because ye ko ba bia ye ko bokro no na wo fingerprint ho. So and ye criminal office. Good. Now, every nation needs one civil biometric system and a criminal biometric system. The problem we had is that Ghana, now, as at the time, my penny John Dramani Mahama, a course gave a policy direction to us, we should integrate the systems near to Dubako.
Number to Dubako.
Ghana to Dubako.
Oh, okay.
Te say o hiania wo niska na kwasiada wo ka wo de kɔ asɔre wo firi asɔre ba na sɛ wo kɔ sra wa busuafo a waka wo de kɔ aduada ka anko ebnada ka anko ɛho ni mfa so ba ko pɛ ebetimi asom institutions ni nyina. And the last one omotoye was Senate. And I want to say biometric systems no boarding.
Okay.
In fact, the most moderate ones are number $60 million.
$60 million.
Yes, the enrollments in my camera. Why would him say now for the PPP? No, it is 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just said the nation was really bleeding from these duplications of systems. That is one. So one of the reasons why the president at that time, President Mahama, directed us to say we should integrate the system was the fact he said a friend said the nation was bleeding. Number two, security. Fingerprints, excuse me to say, it is something that is part of a human being. And it is what people leave most when they go to they could commit crimes. And to crime scene obekono obon se bi kura na obi a wonim se duri wa ma ho na criminals na planted the fingerprint ho
bibi sa timi si
etasida. In fact we say in the security world nya bibia na yeka okay. So oni me no but you can go to the crime scene and find the president's fingerprint there.
Wow.
What do you do?
But ebi so anon ko ho
nya say bia on call ho but somebody has planted it there. Germany, the minister for, I think, Interior, people planted fake fingerprints of the friends at the German and put it in one of the newspaper front page. This is the fingerprint of the after he just drank a bottle of Coke. They processed the print from touching the Coke.
Wow.
And yes, again.
Meba oko crime scene na then obi hu say then I would be detected say assume sin senior. Okay. Send a system na adwuma.
Okay. Let me explain to you. Say hey.
Yeah.
Ya bias okay mu nyina mu mpie. Upia. Baby a watene. Fingerprints is all over the place. So on me fa we say even kura no the most common way of doing it super glue. What is super glue kura who hit super glue in an enclosed chamber. Now say what's your glass near the shim. Obon say super glue no will form around the prints. It will form around the print. Into ube glass no. Ube mu say ehon baby I will print one why you should be. What the black powder eguswa. So now the sellotape tiles we see our wire. The fingerprint will imprint on the sellotape.
Wow.
That is how they lift your friend lifting of the prints from a crime scene. This is just one process. So good. And you know, you leave your prints all over the place. You know, they are very common. So and the security issue was quite critical. So any say your ma adwumakuo hudo bebre quality fingerprints are why. Yes, because we are getting sophisticated day in and day out. So it will get to a time where, because the police have built their criminal office.
Okay.
So it will get to a time the abundance of everybody's fingerprint all over the place, can become a major security issue.
Wow.
And for that reason, a letter was issued from the presidency, signed by Dr. Prosper Bani.
Okay.
And placing a moratorium.
The former chief of staff.
Yes.
Okay.
Placing a moratorium on the procurement of biometric systems in the country. So, Ubian Tobio. Ubian Tobio. Sebi, and some Hununi Yedi, Hunin Faso. Okay. Ushe Mwanasnet for biometric system. Immigration for me, one institution, one more Pisces, and no US system. And almost our Jamal too. And assistant they were bought by Thales. Thales na the latest EC system.
Okay.
More or less the company that did the EC system recently we had dealt with them 2020 we had dealt with them previously in the name Gemalto. So they sold the system to the immigration.
The same company.
The same company. I know. Acquisition be good. And a friend say passport. Also another office. Ministry of Finance no matter cogent for office. Offer your friend say NIA. Now there were two there. Demalog office Germany. And a French office is Sergeant Mofo. In fact, they are now both no crying say one license near Tonim.
Wow.
Bank of Ghana e-switch, they bought Sergeant office, and at the same time, within a span of I think a year or two, NIA also bought the same license, whereas we could use one license. So on good. So when that policy direction came from the presidency, 2014, we aggressively moved towards that. Dr. Haji did his part. Dr. Koba did his part. Your friends say Pepra. Prince Pepra also did his part. We also came to continue. And before we left office, the system, factory acceptance system, like I explained earlier, was done in December of 2016. And the system was left, after that. Now, we had wanted a few things. First of all, we were not too much keen of a PPP for a biometric national biometric system, and the reasons are clear because it's a security system. We thought that government institution must run it totally, and it must have the necessary clearance. And clearance, BNI for a friend say or background near who say. So good. All these things, we were some departures from what it eventually turned out. We also wanted more vendors to be in so that we don't create a vendor lock-in. In fact, the parent company we were going to go with was a Ukrainian company based in Dubai. So, and that is how we left off. And almost try some bet to us with the open tender and we know what happened. Okay, then eventually we ended up with a PPP for $1.2 billion. At that time, I wrote an article, and my point was very clear that we had a Chinese company that was willing to do it for us for $115 million.
$115 million.
Yes. There were Indian companies that were quoting as little as $50-80 million. We had a friend say, in fact, there were so many offers on the table. So the question that we had was that, why then, if we have, because the government's participation in the PPP financially, almost about $250 million. So the question is, if we have $250 million, why are we entering into a PPP? Because PPP, my understanding is that the private person will bring his funding and expertise. So why don't we buy it from people? And all these people we are talking about, CIDC from China, the Chinese ID system,
I see.
which is the biggest biometric system.
$150 million.
And CIDC.
Okay.
And you have some Indian companies, the unique ID of India. So when you tell MSP. Are you for mobile? Kennedy Kofa mobile.
Also, an India company.
Very good. It was MSP. Madras Security Printing. MSP. They were willing to do it for as little as about $50-80 million.
Okay.
So the offers on the table were quite small compared to the price tag we had. So, and then you say you have locked it in for a PPP for 15 years. Meanwhile, the life of the card is 10 years. What that means is that unofficially, you've locked it in for 20 years. Because we issue 10-year card. After 10 years, we issue another 10-year card. By 5 years' time, now on new PPP. Meanwhile, you are condemned to deal with him because it is his cards that are still in circulation. You understand what I'm saying? All these things I put in the article. So this is where this is, I mean, some of the things that we disagreed with what they did.
Remember kakra. Eti omo atime collect data na wi no. When the manage platform no, e omo anaso mu jade ma NIA for e ma mo training crowd.
Say no mini hobat
because all the contract na mo.
Yes, mini hobat. I believe that the actual access, as the thorough access of the system where you can actually make some meaningful manipulations on the database, is still by the private. Private, because he has a lot at stake in the because you've made him invest. So I'm gonna issue almost 16 million cash for free. You make out as good, and all those things. He's bought servers, he's bought what have you, and they also have a stake. Just like the nation has a stake in the
I see. Okay. Young Kuyanim with near do procurement, with CIDC for the MSP. And also
there were Serbians, there were so many companies.
It's Argentina, your optical, say, you pay one particular company on the DNA. Is it 1.2 billion?
Yes.
And yet the same number of cars on be issued will be charged. In
fact, the Ukrainians, EDAPs, they were paying 150 million, and it was for enrollment to card issuance.
Okay.
Say Ombe enroll will be and Omo card was 128 kilobyte. Size of the chip chip was 128 kilobyte. Grofo buy on be changing at the 20 kilobyte can so on me
okay.
And then a friend said, I mean, that is the only change I recall seeing. So the issue said it was from birth to death, it was the same thing. We were going to use the old cards for the younger population. Now 15 years and above, you issue new cards. It's the same thing that they are doing. So, and the scope, in my view, was not too different. So, that is where we left off. So, and then they came to do enrollment. So, as they came in, what they have done well is the fact that they have enrolled a lot of Ghanaians into. I know so sumbo. So I didn't there. You see, Uta Quadra, no in America. So, can't woman you way your man, or maybe be so say to me, I can't. One much true, Nipa baby. Nancy one moon ye. One my bed pa, and say no. nyamencha de ye national biometric system you can say as at enra metie the PRO from NIA no or see one my registered nipa 17.2 million
17.2 million
sanity and say one my registers nipa 17.2 million according to statistical service no registerable population which is the age they are registering 15 and above no it should be about 20 million. Nature said they've come very close to achieving
okay.
that.
Okay. 20 million on system minimum.
Yes.
And I registered 17.2.
Yes.
That is almost ya ben one. Almost 2.6. That is almost me achieve target.
Yes. Yes.
I see. I see. Now what can be a system on use this year? No, system on the Jahonom.
Sanity.
No system now. What can any machines say this Kakotobayana? Machines, no
machines. Your friends say one more a year. There was initially there was a procurement from some additional equipment.
Okay,
and it was more or less metamorphosed into procurement of a central system.
Okay,
international system no there. One much like I said. The acceptance of the system, it occurred in December.
December 2016.
Sanity.
Okay. 81.2 billion on saying machines from Kofabanti. Now, no, also first card on Musuma president, no. A card.
I mean, there are so many propaganda that especially the vice president has spewed out of it. And if you listen to, or not, there's a OTN one. I don't know whether it is his person or it is probably the person who is writing his speeches. I don't know. But Ushu, Utimeka say, Yasevu NIA Fuska, Ghana Fuska, because a friend say, ECOWAS see and ECOWAS card. And a friend say, yes, so your national ID card, no, so what's ye. Now, you're combining me, no. So it is not true. ECOWAS does not mandate so be an ECOWAS card. ECOWAS issues specifications for national ID cards. That's what they did. Say, ube tu kwan akotogo no. Aya masa no ma imra card no so ntuduru wana Togo police fa card na. Obetimi a say I am we a credible card.
Okay.
What would you into one sanity the issue specifications. So I remember I clashed with the ECOWAS team because they gave the contract to somebody or no creative vendor locking to himself. And when I wrote to the World Bank on this matter, and we met at Kigali, they caused us to meet at Kigali to deliberate on these issues. And one of the things we came out of Kigali was that, first of all, the card was too expensive. Boarding. The ECOWAS are specifying. You can't put some of the poorest nations such expensive cards for their citizens. So, there were some relaxation of the spend. That is the reason why your friends say Ghana was able to issue this card that we have issued. So, and Nigeria came against it. As soon as I finished speaking, I remember the next nation that spoke was Nigeria, and they also came against the specifications. And so Nigeria is almost about 70 to 80% of ECOWAS. Good
because of their population,
it's sanity.
Okay.
And the issue is that the card is not to say or see issue ECOWAS card and national ID card and no. It is ECOWAS specified for a national ID system.
I did a proposal
sanity.
I see.
No. ECOWAS not the one. They were working. We were working before they came in.
Okay.
So but when they came in and brought this thing, I'm just referring to some of the commentary of the vice president.
Okay.
So
Matthias here. But more power now. I think that you took over from MPP government.
Yes.
In 2009.
Sanity.
Is it President Kufuor so? NIA office one.
Sanity.
And I know in President
Kufuor, yes, President Kufuor did a fantastic job through Professor Jomo. Professor Jomo did quite well. Now executive secretary at that time.
Okay.
Now, what did he do? they created the legal foundation for National Identification System.
Okay.
The Act 707, no, and I think 757 or so.
Professor
These
Jomo.
two major acts, yes, were and then they started specifications of systems, you know, and even got to the point where they started enrollment here register Nkrofo. Now, Omweni Swadi Hunu was brilliant. And why do I say it is brilliant? It was not lost on them, say, Omani here one biometric system.
Okay.
And you know, one more year and say, NIE, even board no crano, NHIA represented. Bank of Ghana here represented. Immigration here represented. All institutions that require some ID cards to be used for their services, you know, were represented on the NIA board.
Okay.
And you know, we are creating one unified system, and that system would serve all the institutions. Unfortunately, some of the data, if you look at how marvelously Professor Dumonum have done, but BB Cap also, but so. Adia Sam Koye Kakrani says some of the data needs are now critical. Oh, I bema a database now more relevant to see these institutions, you know, what meant me on it. System no crana phone number crying.
Wow.
I say, can you imagine database without the phone number? Oh, and you know, they were an affair so no, to say, a woman bony pants and one bone and 9 pet, no emergency. Kokromutieni will say dikan.
Okay.
Yes, Brony friend said they take only 4 digits out of 10. So they leave 6 digits, and that could be dangerous because it can be used for something else.
Wow.
So, enti koba asano. Se NHI for kotom biometric system now can say, oh, now they now use NIA no so NIA no. They don't take this, they don't do this. Enti it became an excuse for these institutions to build their own biometric system. Into America, Ghana, Yankwayo Kosi do back on. So, into the marching orders that came from JM's administration was that stop procurement, move towards this direction. So, whatever a chimawo database no solve our problem no. Sebeya ebema institutions in rely on database.
Okay.
So, until we said okay, the integrated system. We work towards that. And I face a multifunctional card. Now card, one friend, for example, 4 times, no friend multifunctional card. And so now a barcode and no use. Not chip credit. So it was not a smart card. And you know, it became necessary to get a smart card that memory no song. Sabaya NHI for bit me a store or more application was so. A friend say even cry ubet me a e-wallet was so. I'll bet my transactions was to say ATM card.
Okay.
You now were put in as specification. While so it was agreed with the vendor say a KO chip so better so why Dr. Bawumia say I done in the e-passport yeah I mean all those things were part of the specifications, and I must give credit to the private vendor. That was something that he came up with, but it was accepted. So, you know, we will go in that direction. So,
one more time, or no?
Thank you.
Okay.
It's not even your time.
Okay.
The card acceptance was part of the system acceptance.
Oh, okay.
They make out here. In fact, I was even on Metro TV where the card was showcased on Metro TV with the then chief executive, before I became chief executive, your friend say Dr. Koba. So when they make it look like we have created a e-passport, you know, it becomes very funny. Say, you know, it looks as if say there's more attention being paid towards taking credit for what they haven't really done. So on they have done enrollment in Tianawase or my idea. So on but the system as we have it, you know, was specified and it was handed over to the government of Ghana in 2016 December.
I see. It is not just a metwasi ya jumana as a entwaso ntimumuni hono.
Sanet here.
Niema mo ye.
And no na man ya asifim.
But send me who can say President Kufuor era. Professor Jomobi Bonidin, you take over from him no. oye or bojumade.
Oh yeah, dear.
But then the vice president, be catch them say mobile, no one you who.
And no
because what all born about so how
no dear. Mam can some Dr. Baumia de so tienwa. Especially with digitalization speeches, no. So if you are really understand technology, it doesn't make any sense. To be honest with you, in fact, me Fabian Mbofu. There was a page where he said the NIA systems was started by President Kufuor, abandoned for 8 years by the NDC administration, which is false. That is why I kept saying, the system that issued the card for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, they didn't even add a pen drive to it before it issued that card.
More time on.
Thank you.
That procurement.
That occurred during our time. Okay. So the factory acceptance test occurred in December of 2016, and they inherited it. That is the point that I mean. In fact, in fact, maybe we have to have another sitting where you take his digitalization speeches, page to page. You will see, let me give you another example. If you have heard him say, we have increased the TIN number database from 4% to 85%.
Okay, I don't know. So what they know about there, because now mature to her. And what they know about there, let's continue from
right. On the TIN number database, when you hear Dr. Baumia say something like that, one thing by you say, one my what TIN number will Ghana hano, and I could do 85%. And tisa. Okay, we passed a law in 2012, the LI 2111, and in 2012 when we passed that law, we indicated that if you go to Regulation 7 of the LIA, it says the mandatory use of the national identification card. And we said that it will be, if you go to sub-regulation K, it says that the NIA card will be the sole card used for the collection of taxes. So it will replace the TIN number. Next, I say, why your TIN number 1, 2, 3? NIA PIN number no be replaces that TIN number. And no small can say, issue 85% of Ghanaians with NIA card. No, it means we have a TIN number database of all the way our canon. So what it means, you would think so, but it all is because they have issued national ID cards, and the law says the national ID PIN number is now your TIN number.
Law no more pass
Sanity.
Yeah, ben.
2012. LI 2111.
LI 21.
I have it. I can send it. I can send it to you. LI. Look at Regulation 7. I don't have it here, but I remember because I was part of the team that drafted those laws. Okay. If you go to Regulation 7 and then look for sub-regulation K, it talks about the TIN
automatically number.
Thank you. It says if our NIA card, say if they are able to implement the system well, if our NIA card, sir, PIN number also no, it's now your TIN number. But you see how Dr. Baumia puts it. We have increased the TIN number database from 4% of 85% to 85%. Into which I because why be ama.
But idea Marano, ya pass ya to one. Obi ani so adi
hu. Speaking ya wo fa. Just say futurunko. To say he will say and the NIA now with a linkage with births and deaths registry, they can even tell the identity of dead people, all those things, Do you know, say, births and deaths registry? As I speak to you now, they cover less than 20% of deaths. Just nipa numbia who Ghana they are able to cover just one person. Sanity. And you see, in our plans, after the specifications of the system near there, one of the things that was very paramount in our plans, was that we have to bring birth and death up. Because you can't have a credible national identity system with a weak birth and death registry. Why am I saying that? We spend so much money. In their case, it's even $1.2 billion to create a biometric system
for birth and death
for the nation.
Oh, okay.
But when people die, their identities remain on the database. And once you have these identities that sit on the database without people that match those identity, it will be used. So it creates a very serious vulnerability in the system. So it is important that you cannot have a credible national ID system without a vibrant. During President Mahama time, there was something he introduced called the village notebook.
Village notebook.
No. A community. Now the book. Ebi a wodi kru ho. And I say wa assemblyman ho.
Okay.
Enti the obia no back who say obia wu no aba report ni atwro ni a verify no. Sa nipa no wo bibia yede manu. Ase. Enti that shut up the friend say the coverage no. So on it was some donor there was some donor funding tied to that. So it shut up the and we have always advocated it needs to be revisited.
Sir, plan now.
JM time your friend village notebook
now
say no. In fact, it's less than 20%. Actually, the last time I checked, about 17% coverage of deaths.
Wow!
In this country, births was a bit higher, but death was very low.
And yes, so
because now say kwadwa wuni anyina free database no. Abana wuni anyina free database no. No, first of all, gives you false data in the first place. At the minimum, what the emphasis say apart from the security vulnerabilities, o database so click say nipa say na waga na ha o medi 70 and above. Say kwadwo wu na so wan nyina free mu kwadwo da so wom. Say kwadwo etiase. So on me so na kwadwo wu.
And you say your population there be the no media say get data papa near use how.
The population there statistical service one here. Say no na. Say your national ID system no na say.
But with regards to your friend saying BFM this registry no. A crime be so and also no omojuma because now what I know is say we issue birth certificate from Krofwasa. So be una omantiana just no one no.
Yes, but
the system be a check is
say no, they need to build a system and link it to the national ID system. Not only do they need to do that, they must do a mass purging of dead people on the national database. What do I mean by that? We birth and death registration system later. Now see the system I have, I am very confident to say we will capture the person and remove him from the national database. From that point on, I was say we flow to the community say obi a wawu efiti 2016 I started enrollment ebepem sa na 2017 I start card man na do danko akufo na 2018 I started proper enrollment no ebepem sa amre no sa nipa no momfa information mra.
Okay.
I also be a verification. Near you woman every database. And the only time you can do that, and say, what she shall system no with best and there's a VHS in going forward, no, will be why you be in a film.
Okay.
The big counters.
Okay.
Very good.
But Ceciano, now we can be said with NIA card no. A member system now better. Make it a Ghana card number one system better addicted to say because you watching TSA.
And only problem no. And then I make actually say when the vice president goes to brag to the whole nation, say now even dead people are identified. I'm giving you the actual statistics now as what is happening at birth and death registry. Says here, I know what say they cover 17%
every year.
That is it. Until you say nipa 20, nipa 100 who 17 penny to me a capture omu. So that is the statistics, which I got from birth and death registry, and I picked this up as soon as he did his digitalization speech,
But BBC no babontia, then I prevent him so at least.
Oh, some
press conference.
I mean, I've been all over the place.
Ghana no tea. Indian say BBC ba yen ya na pay montie share kan we are. Enti satiko ni namu. Maybe you move young Congo who have a trap for one, and one said no, so I think going forward, there has to be, I agree with you on that matter. Because now, no, One me I said that thing, the issue about 10 number here,
that is what I have explained here. It is false. It is totally very. I'm not saying false. It is misleading. So the nation would credit somebody who has more or less elevated the TIN number database from 4% to 8%. When in actual fact, it is the same as issuing national ID card to people.
I see. Yeah. Akwa numzona me advert imra yebetwa so. Your friend OSEI KWAME GRIFFITHS or a former NI boss. You didn't come out the afa Ghana card. You have registration. You have so you know baby. Kabe wana maybe a telephone so the amount na odo adventure so etimi aba won semi sebia obetimi so de apiachire na bibia so etimi awie pa victory garlic mixture e wo ha na mixture nwanwa so aba ye de oboade ni nubuna na ye de garlic afra na fe so ye de lime kakra asom as a preservative na eboa immune system booster ebe boost immune system no nti utanom victory garlic mixture on tanya de ne etie no o bp a aya tanom victory garlic mixture ne bi na be boa na san eya duro nwanwaso a ehohoro akoma ho na entine a emu asisi amogya ntimi ni eye nipadua no mafurusan ne nyina no ekla ne nyina ema so timi nya mpom de ne ho sem ekodwuma so esan ba fie kama enya asem ketwa wo yakwada na utie me na oni murofie du nwotwe a memfa anase edumie no 12 years a memfa wonsa enka sanso no opinfo a wotie me sero memfa wonsa enka obatan obanum no untimi enum bi ope bi ato a obankran ha Radio Gold yan premises ha no obenya bi ato sanso enna eye nana boache Kingswalk Tinatet ena Achester Pharmacy omina ewo Kanshi Drug Lane oko aye Kumasi a K&G Colinac Misty ena Fredmans omina no Herbal Shops a omugu Kumasi ni panifoni komo 0201 293 280 ena 0242 545 633 Third Eye Care and Vision Center ene Third Eye Care ede kidi Eye Care Day aba na etidai sisi ano yasama ehom no so bi mu a enya asemgetoa ne etie ne se enkwada ya wo mato nge ekopim eye emfie 17 no yesebra be register kwada no with 50 Ghana cedis per peke forms ewo eye centers no na 50 Ghana cedis per na yen screen ya kwada nani ye screen nani a ye be man free frames bi Samsung lens ye de cheni free ena medications bia no ye de be ma kwada no free a ontu ataku entu asempoampo ka hye ne so ma me se eye enafu amakomako enum 5 days ena de esi wono ma enya asemgeto a run from eye 29th of August ekopim 2nd September 2022 ya entienkai na yen hye ne so ehonum o hwe akira kwan a North Rich yene eye Sunny FM ena ewodan krom Samsung na Airport Residential Area yeben Association International School yene Mirage Residence no na die no hwe etina chesa pepepe na tie eti locations ya mde ama oyi eno ane se nyame ya doma time ne so a obe pick you forms from now na 29th of this month ekopim next month second no 5 days no bra na yenhwe yenye eye eye screening ema oba no na chese sa pepepe na no so etie na dani duru a anopa na nwotwe kopim eye awia no me esa na akwara ne ba mensoma ne nko a akwara ne ba mensoma ne nko a wo ya wofo betimi aka ho ana otene chen so a obetimi aka ho na chese bia so atimi akonkan 0245938389 and 0543287008 St. Victory Homeopathic Clinic tinipa St. Victory Homeopathic Clinic say enei unam na otise widi no hyehyew be ma dwonso otimse widi no hyehyew odwonso atimse ensu bie kura free be ma no eba no ensu atimse ensu we de yade eba wo be ma no memfa nya akwadworo obu atimse odwonso a na ne be ma hyehye ne pa se da madika aka no ena face obi wa yada anadwo no obi bie puno kwa basa be dwonso tentem ni nyina yade a wan panhwa okira no edo how kese bebre wo obi so atimse na yase so ye be ma no be de bia na yase ne ya de bia no wakuntu ne mu de bia no wakuntu ne mu ni nyina no yade a wantimi amaya wa amaya ka chia ma magi ayarsa aso hye betimi aba gono wakwakotia gono anecephalus wakwakotia be guni padua no mo amemfa anya akwadworo emfere ko ka kire omo se wakwakotie wan hwe yie na gono yi ɛhyehyɛ onipadua no mu kyɛkyɛkyɛkyɛ a ɛbɛyɛ yadeɛ kɛseɛ ɛda nipadua no so na yɛsan treat general body pains sɛ yɛ wo sisi ɛyɛ wo bo wo kɔn wo nsa anaasɛ wabasa a mepatwɔ bra na yɛmpɛnhwɛ ɛma wo ɛna obi wɔ nom a ɔse numbness ne nsa ne nan no ɛtumi yɛ tintiriti ne dza asensen ɔse wo police akye me nipa police ɛma wakache wɔyɛ dan akyi wɔ obi nso wɔ no wasɔde anɔpa wie yi sɛ obinya ɛnan kora nante so no ɛden obu a ontimi nante diabetes high blood pressure ɛteto abra stroke bra ne yɛnte ne tɛ ɛmfama ɔhwɛ akyira kwan a kaneshi market no ɛyɛ small footbridge ketwa no ɛhɔ ɛne ɛwɔ yɛbɛn Fidelity Bank ɛne yɛni nkɔmmɔ 0244 528585 ɛna 0264528585 St. Victory Homeopathic Clinic yɛmfa yadeɛ ɛnkɔ hɔ ɛnsan ɛmfa ma efie biom ɔmada roma kan bi ɛna yɛde dwumadi no ɛba live from our studios Gold 90.5 FM eti yɛnkae na yɛnhyɛ ne so owura OSEI KWAME GRIFFITHS ɛyɛ former NIA boss ɛnɛ yi ɔno ɛna ɔyɛ special guest on the show yɛdena ba ɛho abɛhia san sɛ Ghana buying through the communications ministry wɔn sɛ yɛmfa yɛn Ghana card ɛnkɔ ma yɛ telcos no na ɔmo teki ɛyɛ yɛ biometrics na yɛnsa link cars ni na card number na de ade ato ɛyɛ numbers no na ɔmo de breto ho sɛ ɛnura akwasi da yi ɛna na ɛsɛ sɛ ɛhɛnde but ankwankwankwanko siaga ama yɛse August September no exercise no start into no one hwe na wa ma na mo to ankwankwanko ya na che se waso be hye papa number de bia nkrofo frɛ fa so no e de aso hye ebe bro akra ma mesa mo akwa ba bium
mejo suminia
na de me no waka wa na ne apon
etam
na yɛhwɛ we near PPI I'm talking about the current NI office one atifa then I will share exercise no I course no na ho den won him find the touch ma and going forward and then I also feel say omo ye ni ya ebetimi aboa ama Ghana for do na ho atom in connection with say ye kwakwaji ye card no.
Okay, first of all no medical ka say ye mo aba so say on my enrollment
okay
adrum pempen so bi one man kasa no agitum say it could have been done much better.
Okay.
But let's not dwell on that. I don't want to dwell on that, and because I'm speaking in a field where, I do a lot of consultancy.
Okay.
I want to remain, as usual, very professional. So a database that has 17.2 million Ghanaians in it is an asset to the nation.
I am
a database nipa opepepe edum so any echichemu mienu echirepom mienu ewo mu no ade so mbom o man enti no e o se ebo amba so.
Okay.
Now the issue is that, and this is where there's a challenge with communication ministry so no ma wo ye no one man kasa per their statistics no. And yesterday I was on Joy News with Joy friends NI for PRO. About Joy News. The figures he gave no actually say Kamia say one more woman to me enya card actually on sem 15.7 million.
15.7 million.
Yes. And also sombo.
Okay.
But and no say 15.7 free 17.2 more, you have 1.5 million.
Okay.
Nifa opepe bako any actually ponum 1.5 million people. One mono they presented one do who call say Momoyan no my card. And one moon from Swabia and Swamon Sanka card. As a Chan say, NIA said they were going to do an instant issuance system.
Okay.
Nature said, Obi or Beba who be the card because and so Omoba Nipa 1.5 million. And your own card and find a day and Van Goffy. Intino, through no fault of them, 1.5 million will be a crowd phone number million, quite about 3 million phone SIM cards. Through no fault of theirs, these 1.5 million who presented themselves, and no cry, oh my register, don't have their cards. No, it poses a challenge, and I think NIA has to take steps to rectify that. The system, no, like I said, they said me chire mu say, sa births and deaths are yenhye mu kena no. Egu NIA system no ho fi.
Okay.
Sa so na your friends say sending the solution to the population very crucial. Because what is 15.7 million cards amagana for obi be yara there. Ebi ori akobi bank account. Obi die so cry mistake bi beba ho afei na chip no ready enti I was said you must have constant interaction with the communities at the community level, not even the district level, beyond the district level. As the trainer said, so wo kom mikrom agona na so obi di fun oti free that buy mam twemsin as you ansan no be fa moto every mam twemsin aba ase obefa car si yamo ase wasan fa car fi yamo ase aba agona. And so I buy office so I buy ne card. And also I buy now so office send the card in your so on make no. And I buy now office so I buy card. Oh, and you know it has to go to the community level. So on make no. And it can self-fund. It can fund itself in that sense because at the same time no could be a bank account in there would use so on make good. So I think steps must be made. I know say me no can say one the Nkrophobia bank can he train you more for the various districts. Now it is critical. It is very critical that they don't make the mistake of thinking say their job ends at the district level. Because they must have constant interaction with the communities. Okay. So at the community level, no, whether by those days now we were proposing say we will have not Serbians no my system be that was on a bus which could be sent to the rural communities. Ebi awa could di mam twimisi say wa could di one day or obi a issue be awa solve. Now you have a rotation. Women say next time I will be ho no ebeye ebi a na otwe mienu achi so on me to be awo issue bia na woni trim say NIA for ba ha kwesi dey be kromo ba so on me no I mean this shouldn't end at the system but say there so we be o Moses here regional levels no they are doing some enrollment one more card to say as I'm hearing them say short to kakra which is normal so
cards in a short here
you know so there has to be some proper inventory management that we have to look at so to make sure say we be now be there critical pass also to coin
okay
na and what we see and those are the things that they have to look at but I want to also say I'm not belittling the achievement of enrolling 17.2 million or issuing cards to 15.8. But the fact that you have not covered your registrable population makes it not, sound for some of the services that the NIA must run to have deadlines. So and I'm sure we'll come to the same registration when we get to that. Yeah. So I think at this time, NIA should not be bullied into, rushing because they have made a big mistake in the past.
NIA,
Yes. I mean, this current NIA.
Okay.
If you remember, time while one more car say, one more the NIA card no kwana be EC registration. We raised an issue. Say, there's a problem because okwa upper west to say, na nipa oma a year registrable no krano, emu 2.5% pene anya on NIA card. And in fact, so many of the regions na be less than 5%. Ashanti region say na be 50%, which was huge. So, but some of the upper west, upper east, na percentage of them upper east na be 6 or 7%. And then second one more card. And we raised, and of course, as a political party, and say you who say some of our strongholds, and that's the patronage is so low now. We had every right to critique, say it is a problem. So, because we use card now. Okay. But when we said that, the EC responded And NIA also responded. Now, the EC responded by making it easier for people to vouch for people.
Okay.
Say, assume si mini no.
Okay.
Na we gan to kujina mu ma no. Good.
Na man card na bi.
Ne true din wetin ato aba. We gan ni. So EC responded that way. And NIA also responded in a very negative way. This is what I mean by negative way. I have to explain it properly. Say a bon sano near your card we are and sign your do card be man or see a sa bon sano. And sign the card number with standard biometric system practice.
Say what did you fingerprints no?
My year
no.
Now, oh, budget card no. I was see a sound bon sano. Say one cassa or horn near the card near day. Emma. Now, for security reasons, no, it is only at that point and the chip is activated.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that in tree. Chip no was so no, data no was so no. I KO you know what so no. A friend say NHI for bet me storm the chip no.
Chip no.
Sa ansana key sa for no baby no. Sa ebeye djuma no. E was say ye di card na ma wono ye sa bon sa no.
E bo sa pass si anu
de card because from that point on it is even illegal for NIA to keep the card. Okay. Because we have activated the chip with your identity on it.
And you oya say me ba wire card na wi no. Ba beje no.
Sanet.
Na say o se san fa on sasiso. Na o sasiso na say am verify wa.
Na che senyo dia. Na che senyo dia.
Adwuma no nwie ye.
Nyawo dia. So ni meche
no. Eno no ekwan be na obefa so a na ese wo san from man na say.
Sa no na che say bia more function na say bi nkura do enrollment no. Obi fingerprint akosho obi data. It happen that. Oh yeah, that's
exchange of.
I see. I mean, and you have too common, but it's at DSC. Okay. And he say last verification no. That last verification and no ne be chip no safwa. Emma all the services on the chip no.
Okay.
So okay. NIA did something very surprising. The only year say, one more year say, almost skip that process no, because that process makes the issuance slow. Why does it make it slow? It means when you go to the communities, you need a verification machine present. Over one san way. Into one cochicha and say you test papers. Obi imagine the equipment and your wage. All those cars they distributed that way.
I am verified.
Will not function.
Okay, maybe
electronically.
Pause one maybe a question because you want microphobia almost system in
yeah.
When they go to the telcos, no say my ba it be say MTN.
Yeah.
Now almost now they also taking fingerprint.
I
honum. It do we are. Omeka cho say you key in code na dia den enfa
e bi wo hon ma na yes a problem
no. It's a problem we na ma
enya no nko a
okay
telcos no so almost so system no so it's not working well. Company kura here kura me friends Kelly GVG system no I so problem wo ho
Kelly GVG na ye telcos no system no
sanity afa wo ho ba bia wo ho asem ne fa ba bia da who the entire say 5 CDC and they say and no issue
because Kenya GVG any communications ministry who asema ba e da ho ayen kan
and no da ho say wo no na ayesa system na ye dey biometric no so on meche but and no was here kan ho asem ye pa ye hia be 10 minutes pa no ye ba ba sense no
but your time wo ho
me pese ye be deviate from where we are going
okay
enti em say and no say
GVG dey no to
because ye be kan ho asem na tio one say ne ye kan no ma mo ye ya eba eto chema no so on meche no sa issue we no actually say so obi kura ne Ghana card ye fa ne kodwo man no one man a card no so ye kodwo man no card obetimi akọ Heathrow ye man magana because there are 3 levels of verification. The highest level, which is the 3rd level, near biometric verification. And no now what they are I KO so-called a friend say directory no PKI directory no. That is where at that level of authentication that is where it exists. So on imagine. Now so if you take your Ghana card there no more a share system no na ye bon sa no se be den say amfa nature say enye wa The big country say, it says the system is saying you shouldn't be allowed to come to Ghana, even though you may. I mean, without a visa. The reason why the Ghana card is it's not actually an e-passport.
Okay.
All that it does, they say, so with a foreign passport now over Ghana, you can come with a Ghana card and your passport. There's no airport in the world, including Ghana, who bet me about without a passport.
It won't mean your passport in 2 years.
Also the passport to maybe Minya, Wakobo Bravo, UK Kakra. Now, Okobo Bre, Namsen Noma Bayabra. Emram, I work with your British passport. Now, Bagana, yes, your mamma, because you're British. So, on the mature. So, I know the Ghana card, no. I can't British passport, no one. Yet, me, my Oba say, we are Ghanaian. So, it is only serving the purpose of identifying you as a Ghanaian. Just like it's supposed to do, an identity management system. Wow. So, and only have any e-passport to say you. So, on the mature. And there's nowhere, that is why ICAO itself came out. So they have standards that a passport must meet. So even there's form factor. Brony Fred be form factor. The size in the crown, it doesn't meet the size of a passport. We all know. So
passport so
it's about 125 millimeters or so by 88.
Okay.
That's the size, standard size of it. It's contained in a document called ICAO document 9303. If you go to your friends say chapter 4 of that document, I don't have it here. But if you go to chapter 4 of that document, or see it is a TD type 4 document. So you look at that.
Okay.
I can send you the specifications.
Okay.
And you know, they don't have the power to say Ghana card e-pass, but nowhere in the world. US phone passport card. They had that more than 10 years ago. But up to now, still young fan took by air travel in Kobe. Oh, took a year, a friend say Canada, no near the idea. It's only about 17 countries in the Caribbean, Canada, and Mexico, no, and what to be the across the border. Echo. Just like in our case, because of ECOWAS protocol, you can go with your ID card.
Okay.
The every country has very good. I think the Irish have the same thing. And when I want to say, you can't ever see about me, no money be so I need your pound to my. And when about me, I say, I have e-passport. No, it is not even the Ghana card that is the only document that is serving that purpose. There's some paper card, one friend dual citizenship card, and we're green. Saka a paper cry.
Okay.
And all the foreign passport to whom. Now we took Ghana, Yamaba without visa.
I see.
And the only thing the Ghana card does is that it identifies you as a Ghanaian. We are Ghanaian. It's a new British passport to Ghana.
Okay.
Finish.
Me a Ghana in my call UK, name a banner mini passport to put Namita Ghana card. Some ya Ghana in inquiry as I say mitimiba.
So unkuta Ghana passport. Now ukuta British passport. Ukuta Ghana passport. The Ghana ID card is redundant. Why am I saying that? Because you'll be allowed to come anyway. There's no need because the passport of Ghana also identifies you as a Ghanaian. So but ukuta foreign passport now free Petro ba. And I say ukuta US passport now free USA ba. Now say airline no eshe nunu and visa. Any so ba.
I see.
But what the Ghana card trainer will say, oh, okay, we are Ghanaian. So but you still need a passport to travel. The counter says, okay, very good. And you know, like I was saying, you know, in such cases where somebody has not activated the chip, the PKI directory now, the infrastructure at Heathrow Airport would give a false, a false return. It will indicate say nipakro nyonwa.
Okay.
The big counter say now was say you return nipakro. The counter into obia ukuta sa card ni bibia the man said ye test papers bia no. Also call back to NIA. No activity chip no. We say, and yet it is a political decision that was taken by the government.
Political decision?
Yes, it is nothing to do with the vendor who did the system.
I didn't hear.
Didn't you make us say, time na say, NIA phone ready for EC no. They took that decision say yanchicha card na sa. The technical people who did the system, no, they know you can't do it that way. But if the politician says, go ahead and do it because they are bent on using it the way they want to use it, then it becomes an issue. And I see, say, NIA is coming under pressure again with the SIM card registration. So it's coming under pressure again. And I hope we will have time to also look at the EC's latest with NIA cards.
A part of the question I will have no say in all this, electoral commission because electoral commission a person the new CI echo na the sole document na ye body passport cranka ho ni na kwa ye NIA card in so na woka say ebi mo de cry activity na de ma wom
yes
and I take us so now no e problem with cars ni bi say obey ya yesemfa I say san connect activity na san fa bra easy and Ghana card are you
well, first of all I mean in that context NIA hasn't done anything wrong. Let's focus on EC.
Okay.
Say the EC system as it is, just like any biometric system, mass enrollment system.
Okay.
You will be a friend exception handling mechanisms. And they say, what she show no many we say nipa betro di dino. Onfa ebia passport umra. Onfa old voter ID mra. Onfa birth certificate. Onfa usano many na what be the betro di dino.
Okay.
A court database.
Okay.
Now, we are sad one. There are still a certain small percentage of people who may not have all these documents I was specifying. Your friend breeder documents. Some microphone. Na or say also create an avenue for them. Say by our one so bet me atwaba. Say ni pano ebi I say okay. Ansa na meji watum no. Say woni krata we nyina bia ansa na meji watum no. Yes odi kro. Anasa assemblyman. Ana ubusi ani bi ba se ampa minim no se kwadwo mensa nie nti entro ni din no betimi ato aba so on me chere good EC4 system a won mo ye no a won say national ID card ne afanya yi no won mo si ni trace
kwan be so
as it trend say no is an exception handling mechanism the entire exception handling mechanism there omo nipa kakra bi a wo specify wo documents omo fa metro ndi no nipa kakra bi eni bi no omo na use sa avenue no eritro ndi but in the case of the electoral commission enrollment omo ye no omo kire say no omo kire say that time no omo koye na koye say majority about 70% of the people or even more than that I don't have the figures here but a huge percentage of the people no went through that system that is reserved for exceptions.
Okay.
Then we count as here. Okay. Good. It's vouching no by more than Omokuta national ID card. And then when that happens, it means you didn't do a credible analysis of your identity management space and specify the right cards. Because Omoka so mbe accept to old EC card na. And can you be brave obi? Then we count as here. But say woma chichiri pobia to omu trim say obedience money bi egu sa system na brekra anya no kore no womo paya say womo fa no nya adwuma de NIA card no kwa ne be adwuma
enti anu ntina womo fa the old voters ID card na nya one of the requirements
and not only that and omo sa so yes chinchina friends say womo use just NIA card
no
now the new EC CI na omo ko no they want to remove the vouching system. Now, what does that mean? That means that so omo tro dia uni NIA card.
Yeah.
Sanity. Either you have NIA card or you don't have NIA card. And if you don't have, you have no business writing your name. So on the major. Very good. Now, as we speak now, we all know, say, we have all talked about the fact, say, a lot of people don't have the NIA card. Therefore, they can't even register their SIM. If this situation does not change, what that means is that the people who don't have the NIA card will be disenfranchised. That is what it means. Because the avenue to handle people who don't have the card is being closed. That is number one. I'm not saying, say, okay. I am just saying, say, as at now, no. This is the situation. Okay. In case you say, that is how nature say the avenue to deal with the exceptions is blocked. And I am yet to see any mass registration of citizens there's no avenue for exception handling.
Okay.
I haven't seen some before.
See that.
I mean, I've see that. But they are proposing it. In fact, like I told you, Ghana, you were experienced with biometric system because you will do back. So, and a do back in a beard where any exception handling mechanism. 12. Do back. 11.
Yeah. So, 11, yeah.
So, that is point number 1. Now, good. Without NIA card, you are not in. Period. No exception. Now, number 2. The EC through the new CI also is proposing to do their registration at the district centers.
Okay.
What that means is that they will be using, I think, 200 and something,
260.
To send districts, 260 or thereabout.
Yeah.
216
before Nanado.
Good. Into 260 centers across the country. Now, how is that a problem? We have said this before. One more try some BSR with 2019 limited registration. We raised the alarm and they added a few of the centers to it. Now, this time, they are saying, this is what they want to do.
Okay.
The centers will be their district centers. And so who will free to say, I'm kind of my trim say one. So one faka maguna and Spanish Sikabe 10 cities and maguna metro here. It is a won't even to about. So we have always been against that because we believe that the people money should not be a barrier for people to vote. So I want to mention, and because of that strong belief we have now, we have always fought against that. Say it has to rather be at the electoral area level, where it is within walking distance to everybody. So be better me no inconveniently no back. Good. After that, instead of having mass registration, they are proposing that one more continuous registration. Not just say at any point in time, you can walk in and go and register. So I don't know what modalities will be put in place to regulate that, because when you set aside 30 days for a limited registration, so 30 days it happens at the glaring view of the political parties. Will be our interest. So and if it is subjected to abuser, it means say this month nipa be say 400 never register her. Then what do? They give you the data. Then at that point, what are you doing? So I think that also has to be looked at. I'm not saying the purpose is to abuse it, but of course, when your friends say to one bottom me, discussion bottom that's one who is scanning all there. Them can't say good. And or say who you was animal. Now, the America say a double-edged sword in this case. They say show. So, NIA say they exist only at the district capitals.
Okay.
I am confident that at the district capital, they will come up to speed or make me probably issue cards at the district capital. But that's not enough. Now, what that means is that Obiti Bamboya. Now, I'm Faka and Kobolia. I'm continuing NIA card. Now, sir, when to me, a big crowd of Quatroni din, yes, some brand another time. No, I sang another time. According to NIA card. Now, I'm charged the BR will be so ever some banaka as I
yeah.
I mean, from experience. But you find it's a second time, no, at that time, no, either if he has enough time, he can go to the EC office. Adia Sanchez or San Babak. No, as I saw Kobio, I mean, I think that it will lead to a situation where a lot of people could be disenfranchised. These alarms we must sound. And I'm glad the MPs have picked this up.
Okay.
So that is that with the EC.
But a bit say in the future, send a one database for we say no. Bit say electoral commission by request to say and a use NI data and any elections you you bet to that point.
Yeah, we can get to that point. Yes,
we
can get to that point because we can. The reason why I'm saying that is that, especially the developed countries, the electoral institution, they manage elections.
Okay.
They don't do identity management.
Okay.
And that is the standard. But because you come to these third world countries now, because a lot of them don't have any credible identity management system, you know, the electoral body manages not only elections, but they also manage identity.
Okay.
So wudi na asaya why na political parties na participate na ya critic electoral role. So on and the electoral roll need not have an card issuing system.
Okay.
But in our case, that is how we have opted for. Because we issue cards, you know, for the purpose of election.
Okay.
Uko USA, uko New Jersey, that's also betwaba. Uko true but what do state ID nebeko and answer driver's license nebeko.
And nebeko. So person tuaba.
So person tuaba. Ni aje social security no ha ya true now uko register so. Into no eda wo betwaba no ba. What do state ID na ba ni identify. But the system is not abused in any way.
Okay.
It's very difficult to. So when you American then do it. Say especially after 9/11, it will be difficult for you to get a driver's license. So on make it good. But you know so on make say no. Bibi ebesi bia na o so bia bia na ni hwem yie so on me che no enti no ye nya nuru honum say but it is not an impossibility in the future say ebetimi abano sa but say ni ye nya nuru
because before 2020 elections no who say na you know speedy up.
Yes,
you be say can atifa say electoral commission be using the data for elections and or say I can say no, I can say yes.
Yes, it's because na in also an issue I did for the integrated system was that it will be a true integrated system that will be used not just biometrics, especially the collection of biometrics. Duplication in collection of biometrics is a problem.
Okay.
So on make sure. Okay. And you know, say NIA system here we are. There's no need for NHIA to go and recollect biometrics. There's no need for DVLA to go and recollect biometric. So you cannot say the NIA card will become the driver's license because police is stop on. You should be able to inspect your license expire. So okay. You know baby you electronic gadget I'll bet me do NIA card ashim na application be a catch or say valid driver's license. So
but near okay senka NIA data no other institutions in the BTM you see now electoral commission the or for now no because or company new register and check that is why I'm saying say they make out say in fact they have the latest AFIS in town. So I saw one AFIS the latest one. The illegal one under your friends Oslo it's not really a very credible system. So illegal one.
Of course it is against government's own directive say we must have an integrated system. Say fingerprint I can tell you on authority say it doesn't hit any database. And you is
the communications ministry.
Thank you. It is a solution looking for a problem. There is no problem that it is solving. You make out as here. Would you see about SIM card registration?
Yeah, you Santi Abusha. As I'm guessing, partners, you are no. It's near any kinky quack. Kobe organic tiger nut powder. I atabi Samoa ba. Ede atabi collab. Yehu say no no woman ebro 12. Na ne say udi Kobe organic tiger nut powder bia eboa ema wow sugar e high no reduce emaneba from lower or blood pressure edema restore sexual vitality rich in vitamins and intino immune system booster sign fight against infections outdoor etia mankwada no bi ni na wankusku ankofa ya de amafie Samsung the high fiber content woman no and also boa ema improve digestion sa pepe netie oyo ba tan na wo makwada no fo ya tidy coffee organic tiger nut powder eno no beboa manufu nsuo abam amakwada no anya bi atwe eboa ema eye ni padua no moja edimu ofurusani ni papa esanso ebene fats upebi ato aba good house abeka Adenta C&D supermarket Tinated Herba Okanshi Drug Lane Ekus Pharmacy wa Shaman Randy El Madina Taxi Rank Sansona Tribe of Judah wa Kaswa OP Pharmacy wa La Paz Eni nkomo 0558 400-265 and 0209-874557. Dr. Agbozo ɛyɛ pani kɛse ɔda Agbozo Herbal Clinic no ɛnɛ yi Dr. Zebra bɛrima wayɛ mmerɛ ɔmpam koko tietewa bra STDs, diabetes ɛna infertility ɔmaa ne mmɛmam bra na yɛnte ne tɛ ɛmfa ɛma wo mesrɛ wohwɛ akyira kwan akwahye yɛne kwahye ma ahemfie no ɛna ɛsa so saa nso na Tema Community 25 Savannah Junction 0241750282 ɛna afei nso no 0557402696. China Natural Herbal Hospital hospital kɛseɛ baako a ne yɛ modern ball Greater Accra no yakwa bi ultra modern clinic ɛwɔ Kumase na ɛkɔ Kumase no babi yakwa duru no ɛyɛ Santase Otenkwanta na ne yɛ ne sɛ yɛsu acupuncture sɛ yɛ massage ɛyɛ wɔn nsɛm no nam na yɛde treat your blood pressure ɛde ama wo kidney ne ho aka ɛbɛhwɛ diabetes stroke ɛna ɛkyi wɔ abra yɛ science wɔ treatment for sciatica nerves a anaasɛ ntini bi ne wɔ yɛ to ase ha ɛnamo afa ɛnan kokom kopie na ase ne nyinaa no ɛna yɛ ana akɔkɔba sɛ wo sɛ ananse akyekyew ne nyinaa bra na yɛhwɛ ɛmfama low sperm count bɛma bɛtumi abɔ dwuma alright deɛ but adwuma wɔbɔ no nyinaa ne nkonkonkosi aga erectile dysfunction bɛma no da bra menstrual disorders ɛma a ɛdu bosome so ana ma ɔkam no nyinaa na ne yi woba yɛ akakyeɛ bɛhwɛ aboa wo san sɛ yɛwɔ ultra modern laboratory ɛyɛ yɛde diagnose nipadua no ɛyi yadeɛ no so pie na yɛma ɔso aduro ka hyɛ ne nsoma m sɛ nnuro ɛde ma no nyinaa no ɛyɛ purely natural and herbal ɛti yɛnkan ne yɛnhyɛ ne so yɛn services ɛne nnuro ɛde ma nyinaa nso so no ɛda fam bɔkɔɔ ɛti saa pɛpɛpɛ na ɛno nso te ɔhwɛ akyirɛ kwan a nkra ha nom no ɛyɛ Shaman Agye Kwadwo saa nso ɛna ACP ɛyɛ Pokuase ACP Kwabenya Kwantempɔ no so no Pepacho yo total filling station na chiro nom ena serem di kaka chiro Kumase Santase Otenkwanta eni eni komo 0244 435 763 0244 435 763 ena 0541 023 504. China Natural Herbal Hospital yemfa yade enkoho ensan enfama akra yenko yenim na yehwe SIM card registration no ene ho complications outdoor problems outdoor abuba ebinom ene de yese wo nko airwork yaso om nyina se de ye Olympic Games no ene makoko dwina airwork na wo kan bibi about SIM registration Kenny GVG Jumadia the communications ministry a contract wo so omonye SIM registration here be ni here say cars e boss because you started here data here for say ye ko anima so man e benya one central point I be say had e betimi de ho ato so say betimi aboa by SIM card there any identification card bia no ye ne telco so no contract aban e hye omoba mu sen
the edi kan say medical culture say in 2012 emre bi a chichire ye no actually say the SIM registration and your appendix J the tax identity number no your appendix K appendix J in fact we Google LI 2111 you will see say appendix J has to do with SIM card registration. They say the NIA card shall be used for registration of SIM and only the be true it should be a SIM card and so now again tina ye pese ye ne saa the entire pese ye ne saa ne say ye pese create a situation where every SIM number is tied to an identity. In fact, somewhere in 2010 when I was invited by National Security to sit in a meeting na one more SIM card registration a proposal SIM card registration ama telcos obi had a lawyer nearby.
Okay.
You know, it's like more or less saying that we are ready to fight.
Okay.
But I made a statement then. And what I said was that, look, there are three technologies that are being squeezed together. Whether you like it or not, identity and telecommunications and banking. Whether you like it or not, technology is squeezing these three technologies together. Now, if you fail as a bank to foresee this direction, you will be left behind.
Okay.
So now we are telco. Now you fail to see this direction, you'll be left behind. That was before this moment. Now, it has become very necessary that transactions must happen on your SIM card. So, and therefore, unlike a situation, so we can tomatoes, and I say, be cram potra. Wako bobusia wa jama enu ho no so send ni sika ma no. Which means a different from the man no. Say na abaya critical say kodwo me sa no koto tomato so ayenim say kodwo ne ba no. Yeah. So on me che. What do identity na mpanim edi wanim na wode ko. It has become necessary say inframumu transaction no so no must have some credible identity management system. Zone me che no. Sebaya say SIM card we SNI sika ba minim say if require ho ne buy.
Okay.
And I miss me the sika to SIM card number 1 2 3 so minim say e kokodwo manu ho.
Okay.
So on me che no. Say kodwo manu ka kire me say me mfa sika na amano a mitimi koyere no. As che say me check here SIM card no. I ono no biometric ne dey attach sa SIM card. Dey me count as say. We are sa no wi a. Say wote ho a obi be for say me strong kamesani ska madam fu bi na abeto phone so e dey bonkrofo po ni nyina wo say tutwa. Enti wo wie SIM card registration na say sa no ma no to antwa wa feli.
Okay.
They make out here. And if you look at the minister's speech, it says to curb fraudulent activities to secure SIM card based transactions. So on the channel.
Communications minister. Okay.
That is how he began it. And this is what we have known. So on the channel. Good. And time NCA for a page on who's on your SIM card registration. Some of us reminded them that they need a credible identity management system for that SIM registration to ride on.
Okay.
It is never good to have multiple identities serving that same SIM registration. It doesn't help. They make out here. And we predict that say it won't get anywhere because it won't cure the problem. It won't cure the fraudulent. It won't cure the issue of people selling pre-registered SIM cards. It won't cure it. No, because you don't have it. They say NIA say, what the NIA card inquire registration in where we are. You know for a fact to say NIA card cannot be duplicated.
Okay.
So therefore, anybody who comes with an NIA card is riding or biometric, you will be about when chamber born on Sam. Could you men to me, mamma, crony, this or the coffee? So when it rides on that, it becomes a credible database. Now, what do we have at the moment? What do we have at the moment? The essence of the waiting for NIA to come on stream, and delaying the SIM card registration, and it said the SIM card, the telcos would interface with the NIA system and authenticate the biometrics of the individual who has come to establish the fact that Yakubu netuwani muno.
Okay.
Ni no ma 1 2 3 wa register wa wie manisori nkofie wa gene NIA pin number. So on the So there is that matching through biometric authentication attached to the SIM card. So you have attached a credible identity to that SIM card. Echina se obi ko fre Joe. Say Joe, me send this car komo obi na beto phone so. Na say Joe, eso so sabi wa na no hu ye. No ko send ni sika won wallet mu di koma Yakubu a. Yetimi kwachi Yakubu.
Okay.
Ya make count as here. Because you say Yakubu phone and yes ade no.
Okay.
Sabi. Enyo kwa na ye obi na fa phone ye.
I know clear.
Enti no you are responsible
because of your number na transfer.
Sanity.
Okay.
Sanity. Good. Say no. The interaction with NIA no antwa ye. So they are not hitting the NIA database. Enti ade a omno so person be ni say ukọ ho ni asama wabo unsa no. And if we have time, we can talk about the technology. That contactless fingerprint capture, it doesn't have It's not supported by any of the major standard. It's being discussed because of COVID. The telcos, their way of doing it currently, you know, it's not really supported by any of the world standard bodies.
Okay.
So it is being discussed because COVID who say if we can have a way of doing it contactless, it will be good.
Okay.
But it has its vulnerabilities because you will know maybe a friend liveness detection near the trace any background your live near the and try you was it is still in developmental stage.
Okay.
It hasn't reached a stage of acceptance by NIST. So any the other standard bodies. So let's put that aside. Good. Say no. Instead of interfacing with the national ID system now, because there has been a moratorium on procurement of AFIS. Ministry of Communication. As also the contract ama a friend, so see a friend like
Kelly
GVG. I'm a develop system now say we can a pick of fingerprint. You know this is even a foreign company. You know that.
Kelly GVG a foreign company.
Yes, it is. Now, the issue here is that what are they using the biometric for? Because it's not hitting the NIA database. It is not hitting the NIA database. So what are they using it for?
Your corner, and Kaiser of said, BBA.
Oba Sanwa, Nanka, they are comparing NIA database. Your card in BBA. It is not doing that. It is a fingerprint. That is the question Ghanaians must ask. What is the fingerprint be? Because it is not being used for the purpose of authentication. You biometric. You have registered.
Yeah.
One ban also your flow could you man who you also baby send me person be a bank account. Nasa ukase me a friend could you man me ID number 123 is okay. Found Sabra, ye mano. Ye borrow ya pen near that compare where you were and I. Yes, could you menu abaha was here on what? Catch them say on what? Then I database is yampa. Fingerprint in a buy and could you menu fingerprint? Saying they are not interfacing with the NIS.
But maybe I then prevent NCA Communications Ministry because I almost Asha Telco since woman yet.
Sanity.
And I'm the contractor, Kenny GVG.
Sanity.
Then I prevent you, I'm saying, come back contact NIA.
Nothing prevents them. That is the purpose.
So that
it is not only the purpose, that is the law. The Emra Wagana High LI 2111. And if I may even look for it, let me look for it and then and then read it for the purpose.
LI
2111. LI 2111.
2111.
And you have my tablet is
okay.
So now if you take this paragraph
okay.
Paragraph 7. So
okay.
Now Okohona, it talks about the mandatory form of the national ID card. I don't know whether you want to read it or you want me to read it. I said the national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required. Now, if you go to J, paragraph J, paragraph L, registration of SIM cards.
Registration of SIM cards.
Yes, which means the national ID to LI
211
yes.
was passed in
2012.
2012. Okay.
I say a national ID card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required. If you go to L, or say registration of SIM card. K, or see payment of taxes. This is where it replaces the tax identity, the TIN number now. But we they say raise the TIN number from 4% to So it is we are relying on this law that says that your TIN number more or less becomes your national PIN ID PIN number. So or can because a TIN number no we raising about 85%.
But pass that.
Thank you. So
it is and what will this law na dia LI 2111 2012
21 11 2
yeah 2111 yeah 2111 2012 near pass it then me sam abisa the same question I didn't na telcos no
and you su sa very good emra wo ho se wo chechere emra to kwa na se wa nya na kan de anya adwuma. In fact, we had a meeting with the Association of Bankers. Near mandate is use national ID card as the sole. They didn't agree, and we did not actually fault them. Why? Because that time now we were in the process of building the system.
Okay.
Now share system no. So system 2016 share we 2018 aircon. I bet you beduru be. So this is the time all these what we call recognition services. When you build an identity management system, you sell recognition services. Na se uko NIA, na se wo say wo register SIM card, or say NIA ma code to say okay, wo hit database na. Let us agree say be a 10 pesos per an individual NMHA. So on the na mama watchro within. And I said 20 pesos per an individual. So, because that is the purpose of the system, is to raise revenue. So, quite apart from the numerous benefits it gives to us as a nation. So those interactions broke down between NCA, the telcos, and NIA.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
And friends, just like in the case, how we got to 11 multiple biometric systems. It's the same way. Somebody feeling that he is more powerful than the center of power. So they will do their own thing. It is the same way. So, and time you say, now yes, I didn't because your time, the problem was that because of the deficiency in what President Kufuor left, with data requirements, they used that as an excuse and did all sort of your friends say procurement.
So no say President Kufuor time no use for fingerprint.
Instead of 10.
Yes,
they didn't pick and 6. And after phone numbers no money. Some certain critical data needs no money. Phone numbers no money. So but in the development of the new system, we included the enrollment of phone numbers.
Yeah.
Just like Cote d'Ivoire
and 10 fingerprints.
In fact, the design of the system was that the implementation would have been done in conjunction with other state institutions, just like Cote d'Ivoire. In Tubeba Center, now there's a rep on the say, or health insurance, a record. Are you okay? You're integrated with health insurance. That same rep, or probably a different person, can also ensure, say, a phone number. And by completing that exercise, SIM card registration would have been completed.
I see.
You understand the brilliance of the concept that was put together. So now your passport is linked, your NHIA is linked, your BBI is linked. Then you have created an integrated system.
That was the idea.
Yes. And you see, let me also tell you this. In creating this system, I think, in deploying this system, I think somewhere along the line, the motivation to go PPP was too paramount in their way of planning their things. Because in so doing, for enrollment,
okay,
a big chunk of money from the telcos from enrollment, because they didn't want to go through the process of re-registering SIMs.
Okay.
They incur cost, and at the same time, it creates registration fatigue. To the citizens. Until they were willing to cede their budget for SIM card registration to NIA during the process of enrollment. So and so these are the things that the implementation.
Can GVG so binya bibidi ana.
Hey, so I see say it is a solution looking for a problem. I don't know what problem it is solving. That contract no I don't know what problem it is solving. Say Minia. Enra minister Enra minister
yeah.
Or say no. When I say 2 months, 1 month time, cross service, 1 draw a year.
Or best start blocking some services.
There will be denial of service.
Yeah.
What you? Yes, so call Obi Krum. No, so see, on only Krum, you could see an abobo a hell there. Yen Rabakosema for 8 months. Also, why register 38%?
Yeah.
For 8 months, so what makes you think, say, 62% will be to me 2 months are registered?
2 months are registered. Common logic.
In fact, two months of police say, what's it? After 30 days, you are denying service.
Yeah.
So more or less, you are giving them 30 days. 30 days, you can't do 62% when your track record and they say, why, oh, sorry, I will blame you, NIA. NIA 4, no. NIA 4, no. Go for a good NIA SIM cards, crampona, or my go through linking no, or mama bomb sano crown. Or mama bomb sano. Those people no are in the majority. One dozen. So even the ones NIA have done, won't register Mukran.
Yeah.
And now this boy NIA say woman NIA. Of course, NIA is also no. There's a gap between they are issued and they are registered.
I see.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
So we have to look at all that. Even though I am of the strong view, say let's not rush that system to create vulnerabilities. They make out say very good. Until what say and I will say what create it up until you can self-register. Anywhere where biometrics can be picked remotely.
Because me call you median. Me use 2 SIM cards. But I call MTN, but I call Vodafone. Me MTN pen my Vodafone they me register. Me call MTN office no. I'm taking my fingerprints. Now app no so the aba no. Obey there take our fingerprints.
And no problem no. Say we are yet to see how it will self-enroll. Well, I've also passport also some room for diasporians.
Now me so more Ghana na more passport.
The whole thing is a mess. You see, what I am pleading is that, and I think Ghanaians must pay attention to this. We have, however many SIM cards we have registered, whether it is 30% or 38% as they are saying, at least as at now, it has been credibly registered. Let's not dilute that database with some app that allow people remotely to do anything by themselves. Because, like I said, in social now, the pass mark and it's a obey. No, being to me, framing country, say, come in, send this car, Komako, I bet all they make out as here. So, when ya, Nasa Sarden, that's so called superiors were failing.
Itinenka, yama hot time.
Exactly. Let's the system. It is yam building on it.
Okay.
Let's make sure, even if the whole yet me drew the whole year, yet me drew 80% crowd, we have 80% of credible data.
Yeah.
They make out as
okay.
Good. 80% of credible data. And based on that, it can always be built on. NIA has gone far. NIA has enrolled, say 17.2 million Ghanaians. Picked their biometrics. Each UBI are 10 digits. They are the iris, they kind of portrait.
Yeah.
They are information, baby, including the same number details.
Yeah, okay.
So, information. Let's not rush them. Like we rush them to go and issue cards to say the HHS test paper now cover another problem about no. In Tuba corner person the service be as Sanko and a system the activity answer. So on the channel. And no Ghana had the because Sanko and I activity. What if you took and say he threw your cast and your card when they okay. Only because I can't name you go fee. Marco Pavis and San Waba. They make counters here. Very good. And let us not rush the system to go and create any vulnerability in the system. They make out here. Let's leave NIA alone to move at their pace, whereby everything they add to the database is credible.
And you hear me saying?
I don't.
What do you share? Because you are the former boss.
Well, first of all, as I say, it has always been the issue of skill.
Yeah, I know, but
I mean, sure some may by the end of this year.
And you got by the end of this year.
No, what I'm trying to say is that it is crowdfunding. Me call your friend say Ashanti region. Me call 2 districts. Me call Wamutewo. And a cars I apprentice woman. Oba now be This is this level.
Okay.
I mean, what I saw.
Okay.
And I'm a report.
Okay.
What about you? There's no MRW to capture you.
Okay.
They may have one, but they haven't deployed it.
Okay.
And say so no. So person you update just a work.
And I'm a
and your friends say
and come say you
free. Ne da ban ne mam twem sen
so buy wa.
Was so baby da. Just all buy a work and some be. And now we interview for akwa bi so free boko and waba Ghana ha say be obenya national ID card wa ba wonya. You be counting and you know once the solution is made available in the community level, because you cannot deploy a biometric and identity management system and keep it in Accra. It might be sent to the people.
Okay.
Once you issue cards to them, so obi buy rani there.
Okay.
Card.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Agra yan fancy Japan. Nyame ya doma be san hia next time.
Me da se bebre.
OSEI KWAME GRIFFITHS and Amotin kan former NI boss. Nti osu sika ohonko ade a yehia efiti sa abra kopem December there. Na bibia akọ ebinum so kra propose match next year na they but say sika o hanas get on I'm a former sika na yemfa enye registration me ba cho nyame adomo a efie dey di eneme ye awufosom kese e de ama ye nuanom mienu the late